Here we go. It's time for Married to Medicine, y'all. So, in an effort to get us warmed up for the season premiere of Married to Medicine that comes on tomorrow night, we got to discuss some tea that's coming out of the Married to Medicine franchise. Oh, yes. It looks like it's going to be a season of Dr. Heavenly versus Dr. Contessa, and most likely Toya Bush Harris, based on what we got to tell y'all today. Now, listen, if you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do so. Hit that notification bell button. Join the texting community. All the links will be down in the description down below. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into the tea. First of all, I just want to say, I feel like we haven't really gotten a lot of Married to Medicine promo. And it's just kind of like, now what is going on with this lack of the promo? Okay. And so I just kind of feel like, Bravo, you guys could do a little bit better of a job of promoting our girls. But in the event that you don't, okay, the ladies have taken matters into their own hands. Okay. In case you did not see it today. Now, you guys may recall this is the cast photo for the new season of Married to Medicine, season 9. It's really an alteration of last year's promo with the ladies. I do enjoy the fall colors, the warm tones, and whatnot. The background leaves very much to be desired. All of the ladies look great. I mean, there's nothing wrong with this photo, but to me, I do feel like every season, if this were me, and I was managing these shows, I would give these ladies a refresh every season. I mean, it would be a new serve every single season, simply because I feel like the visuals are a part of the history of these franchises. And so it makes each season distinct as you go back into the catalog, especially for people who are interested in catching up on what Married to Medicine is and what it's all about. And this is a cast that really hasn't changed that much from its original version. I mean, you have so many faces that have been on this show for so long. You know what I'm saying? So to me, again, I would just do this across every franchise. Give them all a refresh every new season. They deserve that. And a photo shoot doesn't really cost that much in terms of what you're spending on production. Okay. So the ladies took it upon themselves to work with the same photographer that worked with the Real Housewives of Atlanta when it was time for Atlanta to decide that they wanted to level up their own promo. And this is what you get when you work with Eric Robinson. Okay. This is what you get when you work with Eric Robinson. You get an updated refresh. You get a serve. You get drama. You get fashion. You get elegance. You get poses. You get lines. You get an incorporation of the logo. You know what I'm saying? And again, it's just so fresh. It's just so inviting. Every woman looks distinct in their own way, even though they're all wearing black. You know what I'm saying? It just gives what it's supposed to give. And I don't understand. Now, first of all, I would say this, especially for the franchises. Now, listen, whoever did Beverly Hills this season, okay, y'all got that on the West Coast. Keep them over there, okay? But for these East Coast franchises, clearly y'all I don't know what is happening, okay? Don't get me started on Jersey because theirs be kind of trash too. I mean, no shade. Let's just call a thing, right? Um, but definitely for Married to Medicine, Atlanta, Potomac, we could use an update. You know what I'm saying? New York that had a whole new theme upgrade over the years. Trust and believe. Go back and look at the first 3 seasons and then look at from like what season, I think it was season 6 and beyond. Look at how their intro got a whole new refresh. It's exciting. It was up to date. It was new. It was pounding. You know what I'm saying? So to me, this is the serve that our ladies needed. I love everybody looks amazing. Toya is off on the side looking just as sexy as she wanna be. Dr. Heavenly sitting there looking with these chains on. Dr. Jackie's looking like a queen on her throne at the top. I mean, everybody looks amazing. Everybody looks amazing. So anyway, I wanted to give that to you guys in case you hadn't seen it just yet, because I know that a lot of people were just seeing it this morning when it first came out. And I know some of y'all people don't get up until late, and we got our West Coast people as well. So I wanted to get y'all this tea because I thought it was juicy, okay? And it looks so doggone good. And again, shout out to Eric Robinson, who I believe is in the Atlanta area. And but don't let that stop you from working with them people. Okay, don't let that stop you. I'll place his Instagram down in the chat, in the description down below, so you guys can have that information so that you guys can book your own photo shoot should you need to. Okay, now let's go on and get into this jamboree, because Dr. Heavenly has done an interview, and she is claiming that she was blindsided by this beef with Dr. Contessa. Okay, so we're gonna go through and we're gonna talk about some of the things that she said in this interview, because I find them very intriguing. Okay, now if you guys don't know who this is Bryce Sander. Okay, and so Bryce Sander does a lot of interviews with housewives and, reality TV stars for Entertainment Tonight. And so, this to me was a good and juicy interview if you wanted a primer and you wanted to get some tea on exactly what's going to happen in this coming up season of Married to Medicine. And he did sit down with Dr. Heavenly, who is no stranger to giving her opinions, and she was able to tell us exactly what was going on with her and Dr. Contessa. So we're going to go through a couple of clips, and then we're going to talk a little bit about that, and we're going to talk about Toya's clapback, as you guys can see on the screen. But Dr. Heavenly says in her caption, if you want me to be your storyline, I will be your storyline. There you have it. Okay, so she's obviously talking about Dr. Contessa. Oh Lord, I hate to see it, because these are two of my favorite ladies on the franchise. So this is going to be very interesting this season. Okay, so one of the things that Dr. Heavenly had to say was this.
It was a storyline for her. We cannot act like last year didn't happen.
So she goes on to talk about, one of the reasons why Dr. Contessa is upset, allegedly, based on what we've seen in the previews that have come out, is because Dr. Heavenly was asked on her Instagram, her YouTube page, because she does her recaps of, shows, and, Dr. Heavenly does a whole lot of puts out a lot of great content on YouTube, kind of similar to what Candy does, but in her own very different way. I mean, Dr. Heavenly is more into the live style videos, live streaming, and Candy is more into like the pre-recorded types of videos or whatever. But I don't understand why more reality TV stars don't do this, but I guess they don't understand necessarily the magic of YouTube. So there's that. We're going to leave that there. But anyway, that was one of the things that she had to say. And the question that she was asked was, does she think that, does she think that there's some type of mental or emotional abuse there? And Dr. Heavenly somewhat agreed with the fact that she did feel like that there was some, emotional and mental abuse there. And it was because of some of the things that Scott had been accused of. Okay. And just to give you a refresh, here it is here.
You talking about DMs? You talking about well, I guess if you're saying DMs are another picture, I guess that's a picture. But no, you give the.
See, Scott got in trouble with the DMs last year. Okay, he got in major drama with the DMs. Now, I would just tell you this, Scott, just close the DMs. Okay, just stay out of them. Don't even look at them. Okay. I barely like to look at my own. I mean, and ain't nobody throwing themselves at me or nothing like that. But what I'm saying is, I just feel like, it's overwhelming with people responding to your IG stories and stuff like that. And, people will send, most times people are sending me, videos and clips and things like that, which I do appreciate. But I do think for somebody like him, who is, one of the stars on the TV show, I think it comes with the territory, and you got to kind of learn how to mitigate that, or just say, when somebody come at you with a compliment, just say, you know what, thank you so much. I appreciate your support. Continue to watch Married to Medicine, and here go links to all my other businesses. Okay, that's what I would say. But here is what Dr. Heavenly actually said from her YouTube channel.
Does not always tell the truth, seemingly. They asked me because.
So that's basically some of the things that Dr. Heavenly said about him during her YouTube live. And the YouTubes are still there, most likely, I think. So you guys can go check that out. if you want to. But one of the things that Dr. Heavenly pointed out was that she felt like Dr. Contessa was scared to speak because she had Quad speak for her last season at the reunion. You guys will recall that Quad was the one who put everything out there.
Yes. Move forward with filing.
So Quad was also, the person that revealed that Dr. Contessa had moved forward with filing a petition for either separation or divorce or whatnot. Dr. Scott was all, blindsided and whatnot and whoop-de-whoop. So Dr. Heavenly feels a lot like this was some type of storyline for Dr. Contessa, because she says she's confused because the two of them were hanging out. I guess she had come to her daughter's birthday party. She had come to, events that Dr. Heavenly had thrown. So she just didn't understand what the situation was about between the two of them. And she says that she gave, she even gave Dr. Contessa some advice.
To stay, shut the up, because you looking ignorant as hell. Stay in with the man. So if you're going to stay with him anyway, be quiet.
So basically she's saying, listen, if you don't want nobody talking about this situation, you got to not talk about this situation. But it's difficult because if that's what's actually happening in your life, then, it's kind of a tough situation to be in and be on a reality TV show. So I don't know how you guys feel about it. Do you guys think that Dr. Heavenly is right in her advice that, hey, listen, if you don't want nobody talking about this situation, you don't talk about the situation. Let it go. Do something else. Chime down in the chatterization down below. Okay. But let me tell you something. I don't know. If it weren't for Dr. Contessa and Dr. Scott last season, I don't know what we would have talked about, because that storyline lit last season up. Okay. And finally, this is where she gets into talking about, feeling blindsided and feeling like this was all for a storyline, which, as you guys know, I always don't like when people say stuff like that, because then it makes me feel like what's happening on the screen ain't really real. And I feel like I'm watching a production. Okay. I don't really like that thought. But here's what she had to say.
The filming time, she's texting me, telling me she loves me. I'm her sister. We don't want to argue.
And then she says that they go right into the scene and, she's fighting with her. So I don't know, man. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know how I feel about stuff like that. I like to think that my drama is real. Let it be real. Okay. Everybody pretend that it's real. That's what I'm saying. Just pretend for me and for the audience that this is all really happening. Okay. So in response to Dr. Heavenly posting this, if you want me to be your storyline, I will be your storyline. Toya Bush Harris clapped back on Dr. Heavenly's Instagram page and said, well, I was yours last season. Dr. Heavenly responded and says, no, ma'am, you were in ASS last season. Run the tape. So speaking of Toya, Dr. Heavenly does say in this interview that if she did owe anybody an apology, it would be Toya Bush Harris. Okay. And apparently there's also some sort of ambush that occurs later on in the season where Dr. Heavenly is confronted with some type of intervention from the ladies, and Quad in the trailer calls it an ambush, and so does Bryce Sander. He asks if it's an ambush, and Dr. Heavenly agrees that it is. But she feels like she could take it. She just doesn't like any snake type stuff, and she feels like Dr. Contessa aligned herself with Toya in an effort to, have somebody on her side who could also go toe-to-toe with Dr. Heavenly. So let me know what you guys think about this down in the chatterization down below. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button. Make sure you guys are following Eric Robinson on Instagram. I will again place the link for this his Instagram down in the description down below. I will place a link to Bryce Sanders' interview with Dr. Heavenly down below, and make sure you guys are tuned in and tapped into Married to Medicine tomorrow night at 9:15, which means a supersized episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta at 8 p.m. All happening tomorrow night on Bravo TV. I will see you there.